I would like to apologize because my throat is incredibly dry today and I've been drinking a lot of tea, but it hasn't really worked out. So guys, I want to talk a little bit about setting goals for 2021, and I want to talk about delving deeper into the languages that you already know. This year, unfortunately, I am not going to be adding any new languages. I was very excited about wanting to learn Japanese, Chinese, Korean, Vietnamese. The possibilities are endless, but I truly think that at one point I had to sit down with myself and tell myself that I just needed to delve deeper into the languages that I already know, because my goal, my personal goal, Karen's goal, is mastery. I really would like to master a big percentage of the languages that I already know by the end of the year. I mean, obviously that's not going to happen because it takes a lifetime to master languages, but I do want to take this year to concentrate on that goal, and therefore I'm not going to be adding any new languages. So if that's you, or if you relate to that sentiment, let's talk about how to do that. But first, I do want to give you a little rundown of the things that helped me progress in the languages, in like language learning in 2020. So the first thing that really helped me, and I rave about this in every single one of my videos, but the reason I rave about it is because it's such an amazing thing that happened to the universe. I mean, like, if you don't have this, you need to download it. First of all, because it's awesome, and second of all, because it's free 99. It's 100% free. So I got a spaced repetition system last year. I did know about spaced repetition systems, but I was like, okay, whatever, I don't know, sounds complicated. I had used Anki in the past. I didn't like it. I thought it didn't have enough aesthetics for me, and you know, I'm not a millennial. I forget the name of my generation, but you know, I'm young and I'm very drawn to like bright, pretty things, and Anki was not one of them. It was boring and gray. Sorry, I'm roasting Anki. If you like Anki, that's totally fine. I just personally didn't vibe with it, and I didn't find it too user-friendly. So I used another spaced repetition system called Smart Cards Plus. I like it better, and I started doing something which was like the spaced repetition system, but I also did something else that helped me forget even less, because I'm a very forgetful person, believe it or not. I don't have like this incredible memory. I do have incredible methods, so that is why I am able to learn stuff. So I would do like my spaced repetition system routine, which would be like, for example, reviewing 100 flashcards a day. Like the first round I get, you know, some flashcards right, some flashcards wrong, and then I have a second round where it only shows me the flashcards that I got wrong. So I would take all of those flashcards, and before reviewing them again, what I would do is I would take a notebook or a piece of paper. So I would make a paragraph using all of the words that I got wrong. Suppose I got 10 words wrong, so I would use all of those 10 words as a word bank to write a paragraph. I would read it, you know, like it took a little bit of time for me to write the paragraph. Of course, it took me like 15 minutes in order to write the paragraph, and I used the help of Google Translate and the dictionaries. Unfortunately, I did not have a native to guide me in writing the paragraph, so like probably a lot of things were wrong, but I did my best, you know. And I think that it was important for me to have the words in context. I usually, like, if I didn't feel 100% sure in terms of what I was writing, I would usually use the sample sentences that the dictionary gave me of a particular word, and then I would copy and paste it in the paragraph. So I did have to initially invest a little bit of time, but I would read the paragraph. It would take me like 2 minutes, and I will forever have that paragraph there. So I would just read the thing, and it would be so much easier for me to come back the next day, review the flashcards, and I would usually not really get any flashcards wrong after I started writing the paragraphs. So, or like maybe one or two, but I used to get like 10 flashcards wrong every single time, and I felt like I was in a little bit of a rut. And after I started doing the paragraph thing of using like the words that I got wrong as my word bank and writing them in paragraph, it got so much better. So I really recommend you to do that if you want a little bit more of an explanation in terms of that, because I know that that was a little bit confusing. You can watch this video over here where I go step by step in terms of that method. Now guys, I want to talk about the goals that I had for myself for 2021, but before we do that, I do want to thank the sponsor of this video, which is Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community that offers thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people on topics including productivity, language learning, time management, personal development, and more. As a life learner myself, I am always trying to hone my productivity skills. So I recently started a course by YouTuber and podcaster Thomas Frank called How to Build Habits That Last. One of the main takeaways I had from this course was to limit my goal list. I am definitely the kind of person that wants to pursue 10 goals at a time, but as Thomas Frank said in his class, it takes time and deep concentration to make genuine progress in the things I want to pursue. So having a myriad goals does have the negative impact of affecting the depth at which I can pursue something. So head on to Skillshare to get access to thousands of inspiring classes with hands-on projects and feedback from a community of millions. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a free trial of premium membership so you can explore your creativity. So, as I said at the beginning, I'm not going to be learning any new languages at all this year. I think that I am not necessarily overwhelmed, but I definitely have seen that I'm spreading myself a little bit too thin in all the languages that I'm learning, especially because 2 of them I'm just like at the beginner level, which are Catalan and Russian. So I think it is best for me to just deepen my knowledge in all of the languages that I am trying to learn in order to gain mastery. Now, I know that different people have different goals, and I know that for some people it's just to dabble in several different languages and get kind of like a cursory knowledge of different cultures, different languages, and they don't necessarily want to be native speakers. They just want to like learn a little bit and try different things out just because that is what gets them going, I guess. But for me, I really want to concentrate on mastery this year. In previous years, like my goal has actually been to try out new things. Like for example, when I took up German or Italian or whatever, I wanted to try a new language and not necessarily like deepen my knowledge in that because I was just beginning. But this year I really want to focus on mastery, so that is what I'm going to be doing this year, and I hope that helps you out in terms of knowing that you don't necessarily have to pick up a new language every year. I certainly don't think that is the best decision for me right now, just because, as I said, I am at the beginner level in 2 languages already. So I think that is in what I should be focusing on, improving my Catalan and improving my Russian, and of course improving my mastery in the other languages as well to, like different levels. So I have 2 goals in order to accomplish that. My first goal is actually kind of like counterintuitive because you would think that I already mastered this language, and why am I like putting so much effort into improving this language which I already speak very well. The reason for that is because I think that for me it's very admirable when people contribute to a language that they learned. I studied in my French class like a lot of French books written in French by Chinese immigrants, so it is very interesting to me when people who were not born or did not grow up speaking a foreign language started contributing to that language. Now, my case is a little bit different because I'm going to be deepening my Spanish. My Spanish, if you don't know, is my native language. I was born and I grew up speaking Spanish. I still speak Spanish with my family, but my goal is to deepen that to the best of my ability, especially in the next 3 months where I'm going to be working with a professor in an independent project where I'm going to be doing a lot of creative writing. So that is my goal in terms of mastering like my native language. Obviously, I'm not going to be like the dictionary of Spanish. Like that's not my goal is never to be perfect, but I think that it is very important for me to develop my writing skills, especially because I've been out of school in Spanish for the past 10 years. So obviously my writing is not at the level perhaps of someone who stayed in school for those 10 years that I was here in the US in like American school or whatever. But yeah, I think it is very important for me to reach that level of mastery in terms of writing in my native language is something that I want to work on. It's something that I want to work towards. So that is my first goal. And my second goal is to add more vocabulary to my brain. So I like to gauge my knowledge of languages. Obviously, this is not a perfect gauge, but I do like to gauge my knowledge of language based on vocabulary. And I've been doing this for, I think, 2 years now. So these are all the words that I learned this year in all the different languages. I'm going to be putting them over here. And I think I learned a total of 1,800 words. For this next year, 2021, I want to add about 600 more words. I think it's very, very, very feasible. So these are my new numbers, like the numbers that I want to achieve in terms of vocabulary. Now, if you divide that number 2,400 by 365, you get something around like 7 words per day. That is not a lot. 7 words per day is not a lot, especially when I made this video where I said like, oh, you can learn 100 words a day. I will explain that thing a little bit later, but basically I am accounting for error. Sometimes I do not do my language practice, sometimes I forget, sometimes I don't have the time to. I think that this year is going to be especially busy because I'm going to be applying to grad school, and I have like a lot of projects this year and a lot of pressure, and it's the year where I like basically submit my applications. So I know that I'm not going to have as much time as I did over the summer when I made this video over here where I said that you can learn 100 words every day. The reason why I said that you can learn 100 words every day is because you can learn 100 words every day. That's what I did in order to get into the private high school where I had to like take an entrance exam, and in order to learn English, or like to improve my English to the level of a native speaker who were basically like my competition, I learned 100 words a day. Now, before I get like any backlash, I do want to tell you that I adjust like how many words I learn on all the languages based on my schedule. Sometimes I am more busy and sometimes I am less busy. Over the summer, during vacation, I'm much more able to learn 100 words. I'm much more able to dedicate my entire time to languages. So that is when I made that video, and that's when I talked about my video, also because of my experience in high school when I was like practicing 100 words a day for like the vocabulary section of the exam. But right now, where I'm in school and I have other commitments and other activities going on, I am not like super strict with myself, and I tell myself that I have to do 100 flashcards every day. I give myself some leniency in order to include a language routine in my day and still, you know, practice every single day, but not have to do as much work as I did in the summer, because I don't have as much time as I did in the summer. The one thing that I am super strict with myself in is that every single day I do something related to languages. As I've said in other videos, I think that consistency is the key to success, and I thoroughly and vehemently believe that if you are consistent in something, you will master it at some point, even if it's a slower pace now than it was in the summer. Obviously, I think that the point of my channel is to just be consistent, even if you have to adjust your schedule or your core practice or your practice of language learning to different stages in your life. So in order to recap this video, my number 1 goal is to master writing in Spanish. I really want to take that back because I really loved writing when I was a kid. I loved writing in Spanish. I really want to do something with that, you know, either publish a story or contribute to the language somehow, even if like nobody reads it, even if I'm the only person who does. At least for me, like one of my goals is to start producing stuff in the languages that I'm learning, in the languages that I know. So that is what I'm going to be doing with my native language, which is Spanish. And my second goal is to learn 2,400 words this year, if that means anything to anyone. So those are my goals for this year, but the message is that if you're interested in just mastering a language and just deepening your knowledge of a language, you don't, like as a polyglot or as an aspiring polyglot, you don't have to add a language every single year. You don't have to. That is not a requirement. I think that there's a lot to say about deepening your knowledge and adding to the languages that you already know. It's important to me. It doesn't necessarily have to be important to you. I know a lot of people who like dabbling in different languages, as I said, but it is important for me to have depth and breadth in terms of what I am doing with my languages. So that is the video for today, guys. I hope that you have enjoyed it, and please do let me know what your goals for 2021 are in terms of languages. I would love to know. I know a lot of other people would love to know as well. I know that, you know, there's a lot of conversation in the comments down below. So please do let me and others know about your goals for 2021. And I hope to see you in the comments and have a little conversation. So I will see you next week, guys. Bye-bye.